and Ron. Were there other folk stories you were considering doing aside one, I guess, based off of Little Red Riding Hood or the story of that, or why did you settle on this one over other fairy tales you were exploring?
I mean, part of me felt really unoriginal doing it. I mean, but originality isn't really the point. It's sort of the point of postmodern fairy tale retellings is there's no such thing really. It's like a family recipe. You know, everyone makes their soup a slightly different way. But I just really I just couldn't believe I never heard of the oral folktale that came before it, and I really liked it. And I think it's actually kind of a funny story because I was working at this weird ass burlesque club in Baltimore, and it was called the Crazy Russian, and it was run by this like really eccentric theater teacher type, and it was all about art, and she encouraged us to be creative, but it was basically still a strip club. It was just like a really strange strip club. So I began writing this burlesque based on that folktale, thinking I just wanted to sort of like spring it on her and on the audience without warning, and I thought it would be funny, and then it turned into a play, and then I gave up on playwriting because I was very inexperienced and became very blocked, and I turned it into fiction. Mm-hmm. But later in that story, I didn't get to it, but it draws from Bluebeard, if you're familiar with that one, and also from this Russian story, story about Koshay Besmертny, which means Koshay the Deathless, and it's like Koshay comes from the word bones, and it's this sort of like forest man who's really thin and like weathered and looks like he's made of twigs, and he's immortal, and the only way to kill him is to find this needle inside of an egg, which is inside of a duck, inside of a chest, under an icy lake, and that's in there too. And parts of Vasilisa, which is the Russian Cinderella tale, are like part of Puppet Cat. He's sort of like a doll, a protective doll that's abdicated his role as protector.
Have you read Clarissa Pinkola Estes?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you'd be interested in that. So she wrote a book called Women Who Run with the Wolves.
Oh, yeah, I know that book.
I started it, and I read her analysis of Bluebeard and her analysis of Vasilisa, and what you were talking about made me think of that. Definitely a empowering kind of feminist analysis of those old stories.
Cool, I've been meaning to read that.
I think you would really like it.
I can't believe I haven't. Yeah.
So you mentioned storytelling as a kind of casual and universal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the people who are professional, or were maybe more so, professional storytellers who would pass down a traditional story, like the journeyman perhaps, but like that's their main deal. So the skalds and the bards and whatever their names.
I don't think I meant it as a cat. Like, I think there was always probably still specialization, you know, people like I don't know how to pronounce French words, even though I've been writing them. The jongleur, is that how you say it? Yeah, I mean, I think there were always probably people in other times who were born with had vocations, and maybe in past times people were able to pursue that more, even more than in our own times. But what do you mean exactly?
Just something to consider in the storytelling world.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certainly this sort of impromptu story that's passed around and sort of casually spoken, even if it was more of a ritual to sit down and listen to a story and tell a story. But then there was like the jongleur. There's so many different societies. There's the epic poet. You know,
there's the epic
Homer
poet,
being a great.
But there's also the invisible like women's invisible history, and I think that's maybe what I was thinking about, the ways that that's been, there haven't been women epic poets, you know, but they have always existed as storytellers, and other people that history's left out, obviously, other groups of people. Okay. Well, is that it?
Oh, we still have 4.5 minutes.
That's
So,
okay. That's okay.
okay.
We don't have to do 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Any final words you'd like to say to the camera, Olga?
Okay, hi Goddard. I'm really sad that I can't be there. I'm really thankful to all of my lovely friends and who helped me put this on at my house, and I regret not being able to say goodbye to the BFA faculty in person, and you are all amazing, and thank you for my time there.